good morning. Welcome to First Parish. We are a Unitarian, Universalist, welcoming congregation of people of diverse philosophies and beliefs, people of various cultures and races, sexual orientations, gender identities, abilities, and socioeconomic backgrounds. Whoever you are, wherever you are on your path, may this be a place of rest and restoration on your journey. For those of you who may be first-time visitors this morning, welcome. Welcome on this morning, which we make sacred by our presence together. If you are visiting, please let us know in the chat box. A big welcome to people calling in. We are glad you are here. I'm Twinks Hastings, the Director of Lifespan Religious Education. Happy to be welcoming you to the service this morning, which I am leading with our wonderful worship associate, Chuck Medansky. I am also doing the tech for this service, so please bear with me if we experience any glitches along the way. Our service has closed captioning. You need to turn it on in your taskbar. Our services are recorded and available on YouTube, on our YouTube channel midweek. Welcome to worship this morning. It is so good to be together.
Good morning. I'm Chuck Medansky. If you have a chalice nearby and something to light it with, now's the time to gather those items together. Let July Be July by Morgan Harper Nichols. Even here, you are growing. When August is approaching and you feel a little restless, thinking about how this month might end and how this year might end and how you are supposed to start again, you are growing. You are growing in grace, courage, strength. And it is okay if it does not feel like it. It is okay if there are moments where you cannot see the way you have grown, because far beneath the surface, the seeds have still been sown. The ground beneath your feet is still a bed for new beginnings. So much is changing around you, but you are changing too. You are so much more than the brokenness that you were certain would define you. It has not been easy for you. You have worked so hard to be the positive one. You have given your best in areas of your life where the effort was not returned. And this has made it so hard for you to keep going. And there have been days where you were not sure if it was even possible. But after everything, here you are, just a little stronger, holding on a little longer, and you still found room for hope. So take heart, breathe deep. You are still becoming who you were meant to be. Let July be July. Let August be August. And let yourself just be, even in the uncertainty. You don't have to fix everything. You don't have to solve everything. You can still find peace and grow in the wild of changing things. And so we light our UU chalices today, acknowledging the tragedies, the difficulties, and the uncertainties of life, in the midst of which we nevertheless might just let ourselves be. Now, please join in singing along with our hymn, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In.
Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
Was the sound issue better that time? Can I get a thumbs up? All right, fixed it. Perfect, great. So each week during the pandemic, we have had the practice of sharing our joys and concerns together. Collectively, we have journeyed through this time. For some, a mere inconvenience to daily lives. For others, a trauma that shows no end of stopping. No matter how you are experiencing this time of pandemic and other global traumas, including the current crisis in Afghanistan, please know that both your sorrows and joys have a place to be shared and held in this sacred community. Will you join me in a moment of prayer and meditation? Spirit of life, we are in the midst of tragedies, difficulties, uncertainties. We lift our hearts to those in Afghanistan. We open our hearts to the families and friends of those who have lost their lives in the effort to bring as many souls as possible to safety, and to those who have lost their lives trying to flee from the tyranny. We open our hearts to those who suffer through fires and hurricanes, and of course, the ongoing pandemic. We lift our hearts to those in our community who are suffering from the loss of friends and family from COVID-19. We lift our hearts up for those who are suffering in any of the multitudes of ways that were shared with us today. Please let those hearts be held and know that there is space and time for grieving. We also open our hearts to the joy and longing and hope that we can build a better world, that we will come together to change the climate, that we will end unnecessary war, that we can lift each other up to be the best we can be. Together we share the joy of family visiting and grandchildren and fresh tomatoes and basil and berries and the cooler days that have come to us and the ponds and the beauty that surrounds us on Cape Cod. Please let us hold all of these things close to our own hearts and in our loving community with each other. Amen, and blessed be.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
We have two short readings to share today. The first is from the Indian mystic Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj. Just turn away from all that occupies the mind. Do whatever work you have to complete, but avoid new obligations. Keep empty. Keep available. Resist not what comes uninvited. In the end, you reach a state of inner ease and freedom, indescribable yet wonderfully real. Our second reading is a short poem called Song by Dina Metzger. There are those who are trying to set fire to the world. We are in danger. There is time only to work slowly. There is no time not to love.
So I stumbled upon that poem that Chuck shared as our chalice lighting a couple of weeks ago. And it was one of those pieces of art that just stopped me in my tracks, hit me right where I needed to be hit. Let July be July, let August be August, and you can still find peace and grow in the changing of wild things. Lately, my life has felt very much like I've been slapping the cornstarch. I'm going to play you a short video to help you understand what I mean by that.
Right now we're mixing in the cornstarch and the water, and we're creating this still thing called a non-Newtonian fluid. When it comes under pressure, you push on it, you jump on it, you walk on it, it behaves like a solid. You can take a hammer, hit it, and it will bounce back. However, if you just sit on it, you will sink, and it's kind of hard to get out. That good is just water and cornstarch. Nothing. Some food coloring we're adding in a little bit to make it look nicer, more appealing. Mixing it has been the funnest part. Again, a lot of people were hesitant about it at first, and some probably still are. A
lot of fun. It does feel like you're walking on water, and hurts a little bit, but when you sink, it's a lot of fun. Getting stuck and trying to get out, because it was an effort to try to get out because it took so long. It was sticky. They have a big trailer. They have about 2,000 pounds of cornstarch and a lot of water, and it feels like you're walking on a jello or a water. It's a lot of fun. It's surprisingly warm, and it's very sticky. It's actually hotter in there than it is out here right now.
Fluid mechanics class is doing this. It started, our instructor asked us, you want to do a big class project or you just want to turn in individual reports? And we were all, let's do it. So we decided as a class to do it. We wanted the rest of the campus, the rest of Lamar to see what we were doing over in the department and to see that, it's fun. It can be fun too.
So I feel like I'm slapping and walking on that cornstarch. Things that I used to just sail through or were easy or were just part of living life now feel like slapping a tub of cornstarch. What should be easy to navigate is not. Anyone else feel this way? I'm a doer. I like to move fast, get things done, be impulsive, last minute, things will just work out kind of person. And this last year has really stopped that in its tracks. I've said this before, but I'd like to say that I've learned how to move more slowly and with precision through the world, that the pandemic has turned me into a meditative thinker, but it didn't. It just made me feel like I was bouncing off that tub of cornstarch, when it should be just so easy to wade through it. Take, for example, planning a lunch gathering for families. In the good olden days, I would grab some sandwich fixings, make a big old plate of sandwiches, throw some chips in a bowl, and we'd gather on a few blankets and share lunch. Now, there's so much to consider. Our kids can't be vaccinated, so to be safe, we need to be outside and keep everyone distanced and masked. So that would mean individual lunches, which would mean getting orders ahead of time, finding a place to order from, considering the financial equity. There's a huge difference in price from individual lunches and me making a platter of sandwiches. Then there's the individual drinks and chips, which is an environmental consideration. And then there's the logistics of every kid on a separate blanket, 6 feet apart. And when the point is to build community by doing these events, it sort of becomes, what's the point? This week, I had the extraordinary pleasure of taking a course with the Association of UU Music Ministries, led by Laura Vandernoot Lipsky, who's the author of Trauma Stewardship. This was a course for UU ministers, DREs, and music professionals. The course was talking about this next year in our UU communities, because whether to ourselves we admit it or not, our congregations are living in trauma. To have been separated physically for so long has led to heartache and frustration. Many of us disagreeing with decisions being made on reopening on both sides of the coins. We're doing it too quickly. We're doing it too slowly. Short tempers with each other, less tolerance for everything and everyone. This is what we have to expect of each other because this is where we have been and this is what we have weathered together. But our job is to remember, what is the point? And so hearing, let July be July. Let August be August. And you can still find peace and grow in the changing of wild things. Felt like a call to me, a call to stop resisting, to stop barging headfirst into the cornstarch, but to lean, to go slow, to just let what's happening happen. I can't eradicate COVID as much as I want to, but I can wear my mask, vaccinate, and find peace in that. I can't run a picnic like normal, but I can build community amongst our young people. I know I can. I can't determine if we will have a COVID spike in Brewster this year and have to return to remote church, but I know I can give my everything to make sure our children, youth, and families are cared for if that happens, and work with Reverend Jessica and the other staff to serve First Parish in the best way we can if we have to. But I do know if I stop fighting it and I just let August be August and the pandemic be the pandemic, then I will be able to slowly move through the sticky cornstarch of our current reality and stop bouncing off of it, unable to move forward. And this, my friends, is how we will find peace and grow in the wild of changing things.
Been nibbling at the edges of a new and surprisingly difficult spiritual practice lately, letting things be. Like it's said in one of the readings, keep empty, keep available. Let things be. Don't those words immediately conjure up others like, yeah, but? I struggled for a long time with what seemed like the flaws in this world, or any world supposedly emanating from God or love. Death, disease, all the manifestations of human cruelty. I definitely had an attitude towards life, which came out as cynicism. I inwardly dared anyone to recite their spiritual beliefs next to a pit of burning bodies at Auschwitz. I could not understand, though I was desperate to understand, how to say yes to such a world. I finally recognized my cynicism as self-protection against grief and fear and heartbreak that I couldn't bear alone. Laying my head and my heart in the laps of my friends and community, I did, at last, allow myself to pray and praise creation because I was finally willing to be with the heartbreak, to keep my heart open, stay available in the presence of discomfort and suffering without knowing the answers to why they existed. This essentially became a practice of nonviolence. That is, trying my best to keep my heart open in difficult circumstances with difficult people, instead of closing down and adding to the problem. I had to learn that this didn't mean being nice so much as speaking the truth with love, saying no when necessary, loud and clear, but saying it as if to someone I knew in my heart of hearts was my brother or my sister. It's certainly easy to believe we're all one creation in theory. It's an everyday challenge for me in practice. I mean, just try listening to the news. Lately, I've been trying on an almost minute-to-minute basis, when I can remember to relax, literally to relax my body, and the body English I am constantly trying to put on the universe to somehow make it, better? To try instead to let life come to me and reveal the next right thing. To do that instead of committing my desperation on another innocent day. All of this is to say, we live in the midst of beasts and angels, awash in beauty and pain, faced with the unknown and the unthinkable. And maybe, just maybe, we can face all this together with a little more wisdom and grace if we lean just a little bit more into letting it be. As Dina Metzger wrote, there are those who are trying to set fire to the world. We are in danger. There is time only to work slowly. There is no time not to love. Now, please join in singing When Our Heart is in a Holy Place.
When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we tell our story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, yeah, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our heart stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith, then our heart is in a holy place. Then our heart is in a holy place. Then our heart is in a holy place.
I invite you to place your hand on your heart and take a moment to breathe and feel the power of the connection of this community. We are separated by physical distance, but joined in the sacred and holy heart space. As you go about your day and your week, let August be August, let COVID be COVID, and let those things that you are fighting against just be those things that you are fighting against. And when we find some peace in the wild of changing things, we will grow and be stronger each day. Amen and blessed be.